Okay. So after we completed, just to give you a bit of itinerary background, after we completed the meditation session, we will be having a session of Dharma sharing. The Dharma sharing will be done by Datuk Chia, and he will present the Dharma session, and after that we will be open out for any discussion or any feedback or question and answer. So you can actually raise your hand as well as whenever you need to ask anything. So meanwhile, I will actually want to make sure that all of you are muted so that that's not to disturb the session going on. I will now lower all the hands so that there will be empty. Brother KL, how is the status with Datuk Charlie? You have to unmute yourself to speak.
Okay, I have not got a response from him. He called me earlier, but I think it should be a problem. He might just come in a little bit later.
So what we do, we will start with the meditation session first. Okay. So I'm going to mute everyone now. And you can actually unmute yourself whenever you need to speak later on. So that will be after the open session for Q&A. Now you can just listen to Bante Mahinda sessions.
Keep your head upright, just tuck in your chin a little.
I hope you all can hear. I hope you all can hear Bante Mahinda in the background. If you can hear, can you just show the very good? All right, just to start again.
Feel your shoulder joint. You may choose to close or half close your eyes. Bring your attention close to your heart and observe a sense of calm and quietness.
Remain. The sound a bit lower. Can you able to make it
okay?
The sounds that you hear, feeling, sensation that arises, just be aware. Your mind is not disturbed, not distracted. In this state of calmness, you will now commence the practice of Metta or loving kindness, wishing yourselves to be well and happy. As you tell yourselves to be well and happy, feel a sense of well-being and keep a smile throughout your practice. Be free from anger, free from enmity, from hatred and grudges. Be free from sufferings, from fear, worries and anxieties, and just dwell in calm and peace. Just as you wish to be well and happy, calm and peaceful, you will now radiate thoughts of loving kindness in all the directions, above, below, and all around you. Fill the whole space around you with your aura of calm and peace, and have the good wish that may all beings, Be well and happy. Going beyond the space around you, you now extend loving kindness to the whole vihara, house or building, wherever you are, and have the good wish that all beings that are present here, may they be well and happy. May they be free from harm and dangers. Now extend your thoughts of loving kindness to all the surrounding areas, all the neighborhood, reaching out to the whole country, that all beings be well and happy. May they be free from harm and dangers. May they dwell in peace and harmony. Going beyond the country to all the neighboring countries, all the neighboring islands, covering the whole world, and all the realms of existence, known or unknown to us, seen or unseen, that may all beings be well and happy. May they be free from harm and dangers. May they dwell in peace and harmony. In the calmness of your minds, you may now turn your attention to develop mindfulness on breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in and out, just relax and be mindful of the in and out breath. As soon as you become aware that your mind has wandered off, mindfully return your attention to your breath. Just continue your practice for the next 10 to 15 minutes. When you are ready to conclude your meditation, spend a few moments to radiate loving kindness all around you. Just have the good wish that may all beings be well and happy. In your wholesome state of mind, you will dedicate the merits of your practice to all the Dharma protectors, all the devas and guardian deities that have been protecting you, and those in your locality. May they rejoice in these merits and continue to grow in the Dhamma's path and attain their final liberation one day. May they continue to give blessings and protection to all. May the pandemic outbreak of the Covid-19 virus be swiftly checked and kept under control. May all those affected directly or indirectly by this pandemic, may they be free from harm and dangers. May they be well and happy. Just fill your hearts with pure love and compassion and cherish the good wish that may all suffering beings be free from suffering. Those in sorrow be free from sorrow. Those in fear and dangers, may they be free from fear and dangers. May all beings be well and happy. All beings be well and happy. May they live in peace and harmony. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, there's the end of the Bhante Mahinda Guiding Sharon session. you can actually come back and open up your eyes and stay alert to the screen, as we're gonna invite Datuk Charlie to introduce himself as well as start the sharing session for the Dhamma. So Datuk Charlie, welcome to the sessions. The rest of members are still muted. I will later on moderate if there's any session needed for them to ask questions. So you can actually on your video for them to see you. Thank you so much. Datuk Charlie is in the rooms. Thank you so much for having you to be with us today in this Metta network sharing session. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Datuk to take over this session. You can share your screen. I've already allowed you to share the screen.
Give me a minute. Huh?
Yes. While waiting, maybe Brother KL can give a short introduction about Datuk Charlie. You just unmute yourself and introduce Datuk Charlie. Brother KL.
I think the slide is up now. I let Datuk Charlie proceed. I think first and foremost, Datuk Charlie is no stranger to all of us. He's one of our Buddhist elders, and basically, I think he has spent quite a number, many years propagating the Dharma from the time when the late chief was still alive. So I don't want to take up too much of our time, and let Datuk share his precious Dharma with us.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother KL. Datuk, the time is yours. Please go ahead.
Okay. Very good morning, brothers and sisters, and Sukiotu. And also, we would like to wish you stay safe, be well, be happy, and be calm especially. And I have actually put on the slides some of the introduction, and also at the same time, I would like to talk about this life-changing event. Now, COVID-19 is actually the third disruption in our current affairs. Of course, starting with the trade wars, and then subsequently our political situation, and subsequently then followed up by the outbreak of the pandemic. Now, life-changing events are always inevitable. It happens every time. And we are also very, to a certain extent, unprepared for such a whammy. It's actually a 3 times whammy that we are facing. But nevertheless, we have to face it with courage and also with a lot of understanding. And that is when the Dharma is very important at this moment of time. And life-changing events are always happening throughout our lives. And this is one of the biggest one. We will always, as long as we are alive, we will remember these times. A minute, huh? Having some problem with the Okay, sorry for the slight delay. Now, what we are actually facing at this moment of time, I think a lot of us are facing a lot of stress. Stress in the sense that we are expecting a lot of good things, expecting a lot of good events, but unfortunately, the expectation and the reality is often than not more than a gap. So at this moment of time, do we want all our expectation to end? And it is important to understand that the more we expect, the more stressed we become. So peace only begins when expectation ends. Now, in order to have to manage this period of time when all the stress are currently with us, we must actually learn the art of stress management. And the Dharma is always ready with a lot of lessons to learn and a lot of understanding. And especially when we are facing with a lot of the different expectations, we want all these bad events to go away, but unfortunately it still lingers. And we often are not faced with a lot of stress. Now, most importantly is that at this period of time, we need to take care of our mind. Now, I think most of us are having quite a lot of relaxation, a lot of food, a lot of sleep. So a lot of times we say, you know, you spend this lockup period by having a lot of sleep and eat, sleep and eat. Now, we have to actually take care of both our body and our mind. The body is actually quite easy because we can just still get out of our house, around our compounds. We can still do a lot of exercises. We can still do a lot of stretching. And even at home, we can just walk up and down the stairs. Now, this would keep our body healthy. At the same time, also make sure that our food is being taken care of. But the mind is the most difficult part. We are being caught up with a lot of this mental anguish and mental stress. And I think the most important thing is that we must learn a few techniques which is propounded by the Buddha's teachings. And I think the first one is, of course, we call it the art of letting go. Now, before we let go certain things, we must have the right understanding. And I think we all knows that in the understanding that phenomena is always impermanent, phenomena always have changes, and we must be able to bear with these changes. But to bear with these changes, we must be able to accept that they happens, and sometimes they happen for a reason, because of our poor discipline, because of our poor hygiene, because of our poor management of our human affairs, our environmental affairs, and thus nature has its way to actually punish us. So when that happens, we must be able to accept these kind of changes, and once we're able to accept changes, then we will then be able to let go of those expectations and let go of those clinging on and grasping. And thus, once the phenomena change is not inside our minds, then we can come back to our maintenance of calmness and peacefulness. Now, I think even during this period when we are faced with so much stress, anger is always, or disappointments with the conditions that we are in, with the environment we are in, we sometimes get angry fast. So this is a time when we need to have a lot of anger management, knowing that anger is also a feeling, and feelings can come and go. So if it can come, we can also go. And especially when we talk about environments, do you realize that during this period, the sky is much more blue, the air is much more pure, and the sounds are less polluting the atmosphere, and we are having some of the best times of our, what you call, human existence. Reason is because the world is now moving into the stage of rejuvenation and renewal. And when we have this happening in around us, we have to learn to appreciate it. And once we learn to appreciate whatever that is around us, we then don't feel so disappointed. Secondly, now that we are caught up together with our families in our homes, we should actually create a lot of binding, create a lot of relationships, and even to the extent that some of our members may not be around us, we should continue to communicate, continue to call each other, and continue to be at peace with each, and learn to build up the bondings and relationship even though we are distant. We have also have a lot of cases when we send jokes, we send a lot of amusing and hilarious moments that people are facing, and this has actually created a lot of laughter. I think laughter is the best medicine in this kind of situation, and it's time that sometimes we enjoy having a few good moments, laugh ourselves, and relax. And this is also one of the ways to cope with our COVID-19 fallout. Now, positive thinking is also an important aspect of our understanding. I'm going to dwell it a little bit more on the various positive thinking methods, but positive thinking is one of the ways to keep ourselves peaceful and calm, and expecting good things to happen. Like our prime ministers have said that when the rain stops, the sun will come out. And we have to be patient, we have to be tolerant, and we have to be understanding to wait for that moment to come. Because everything will happen in a cycle. When there is good, there will be bad. And when there's bad, don't worry, there will be good again. And now that we are caught in the homes, we have a lot of things to do. This is the best time actually in our lives that to reorganize ourselves, relearn some of the things that we have been yearning to learn. And also at this point in time, we want to try to catch up with all the backlogs. And sometimes some friends have told me that they have actually gone to do a lot of housekeeping, a lot of cleaning, and a lot of rearrangements of their environments and house. So, but we have so many things to do. We need to do it one step at a time. And it's only to avoid from being too tense up in trying to settle all things within a short period. And this 28 days actually, to us, some of us, it's actually one of the best times that we can actually spend free from all the hustle and bustle, and also free from all the stress and strain. We have been given time to keep to our homes, and then slowly, one step at a time, reorganize ourselves. And I think this kind of a holiday, to a certain extent within inverted commas, we are actually very fortunate to be able to enjoy this period peacefully, with all the utilities going on, with all the medical care available. And I think we should be very grateful to all the people who have been providing this, even including what the government is doing. And they have been trying their best. And that's why we have been having some peaceful times. Now, at this juncture, we all must try to learn and recollect what the Buddha has taught and spend this period of time to understand the Four Noble Truths. Now, the Four Noble Truths is the most basic fundamentals and also the origin of all the Buddha's teachings. And it is this Four Noble Truths that has actually helped us to resolve a lot of our difficulties, a lot of our unsatisfactoriness, and a lot of dukkha. Now, what are the Four Noble Truths? We have the Noble Truth of dukkha, the Noble Truth of the rising of dukkha, the Noble Truth of the end of dukkha, and the Noble Truth of the path leading to dukkha. Now, the first Noble Truth tells us that, as long as we are born, we have to face certain unsatisfactoriness. And the major ones, of course, is old age, sickness, and death. We, at the moment, has been faced with what we call a pandemic, where sickness is actually a very close possibility. And some of us can actually be caught with COVID-19, coronavirus, anytime. And then we will be facing with a lot of uncertainties, not knowing whether we will be able to overcome. So when sickness has arisen, that is what we call unsatisfactoriness of life. And the moment we have a lot of expectations and expectations of things to happen according to what we want, according to what we would like to have, but if it doesn't, then we become disappointed. So there is this grasping and clinging on expectations. So this is also one of the unsatisfactoriness that we have to face. Now, the Noble Truth of the rising of the dukkha, which is the second Noble Truth, talks about that the reason why we are unhappy and why we are having a lot of unsatisfactoriness is because we are clinging on or craving for the unchanging entity. Now, we all know that we don't want things to change. We want things to always be the same. But when things start to change, that is when we become disappointed and when we become unsatisfied. And one of the main causes is that because we are grasping on it, we are craving for its ending, but it doesn't happen. And thus, because of this craving, that's why we are facing unsatisfactoriness or dukkha. The third Noble Truth then tells us that once we understand that this is the cause for our unsatisfactoriness, the attachment and the expectation, let us now reduce our attachment, let us reduce our craving. And hopefully one day we can totally eradicate. And if that's the case, once the craving ends and the craving reduced, then the unsatisfactoriness will also reduce at the same time. So the Noble Truth of the end of dukkha is that we must try to release ourselves from that craving and expectation. Don't expect anything. Just live as it is, and most of the time, accept whatever changes that has happened, and our mind will become clearer, our mind will become calmer, our mind will become more peaceful. And of course, all these are easy said than done. We need to actually have a discipline, we need to have a methodology, we need to have a way in order to practice the cessation of craving or cessation of grasping. So the Noble Eightfold Path has been presented by the Buddha as a methodology or a discipline for us to adhere during this period of time. Now, the Noble Eightfold Path is divided into 3 groups, and we have Sila, which is the base, and Sila means morality. Then we also have Samadhi, which talks about concentration or the development of the mind, or cultivation of the mind. And once we are able to do that, then we will then develop wisdom or Panya. Now, Sila covers the 3 Noble Truths of right speech, right action, right livelihood. And during this period, we are fortunate that we are able to have the Buddha's teachings to practice right speech, try to do the right actions in creating a lot of good merits, and in trying to do what is right and avoid doing what is wrong. And of course, during this period of right livelihood, we reflect upon the various ills of our livelihood, especially now that we know that the virus starts from a certain type of animals, and these are wild animals that we should not be consuming. We should now pledge ourselves not to go into that direction and to consume wildlife. Now, the second group talks about concentration, and this is a time when we have a lot of spare moments. Let us now put a right effort to practice a lot of compassion, a lot of meditation, and also focus on trying to think of loving kindness towards others, a lot of altruistic and sympathetic considerations for all the good things that people have done, and rejoice in what others have done. And thirdly, of course, the third group, once we are able to achieve the two, then we will be able to develop the right understanding and right thought, which is wisdom in our minds. Now, the Buddhist approach towards suffering in life is that we should not be unhappy and gloomy over what has happened and become angry and impatient. And now that we may be faced with the possibility of an extension of the lockdown or the MCO, we mustn't be angry because this is all for the betterment of everyone. We must be able to look at it positively and not be unhappy over the situation. So what is necessary is also not anger or impatience, but the understanding of the question of suffering. That means developing the right understanding of all the things that has happened and all the phenomena that has taken place. Now let me talk about the parable of the river. Now, life is actually like a river. When we flow, we have good times, we have a lot of very good moments, and we actually can sing along as the river flows along from the Ulu to the Ilir. That means from the upper reaches down to the sea. But as we flow along, the river sometimes meet with the mountains. And when we meet with mountains, are we going to be disappointed? Are we going to be angry? And does the river scold the mountain? No, the river maintains its patience, understanding that these are some of the challenges that can happen in our life, that we shouldn't be unduly disturbed or unduly worried over it, and be able to tolerate the presence of such challenge. That means tolerate the presence of the mountain. So what does the river do? The river then slowly builds up its level, and as the water level rises up, it becomes a lake. And as the lake level rises up, it then slowly overwhelms the height of the mountains, and through some spurs, then falls down like a waterfall. And then eventually, as it lands at the bottom of the mountain, then it continues its journey, and then it flows again like the river. Now, life is full of challenges, life is full of mountains. And each time we meet with a mountain, we must have this right understanding, right tolerance, and right patience to then overwhelm the difficulties that we are facing, and eventually then be able to overcome whatever challenges that we are facing. So when we work to overcome it accordingly with the patience, with a lot of intelligence, determination, and energy, we will surely be able to overcome whatever that is actually in our midst. And COVID-19 is actually one of the challenges that we are going to face. And we have already faced with it for almost 3 months. And let us now have confidence that we should be able to overwhelm it with a lot of patience, with a lot of tolerance, and with the right understanding as propounded by the Buddha's teachings. Now, when we practice right understanding, is actually the understanding of the phenomena of things. Now, when we understand the phenomena of things, we must be able to reflect upon the 3 characteristics. And the three characteristics talks about anicca, anatta, dukkha. And if we do not understand phenomena and we do not understand the characteristics of phenomena, that is when we become disappointed and become unsatisfied. Now, anicca basically talks about all phenomena that arises, our bodies, our environment, events that has happened, they are all impermanent because they are all conditioned to exist. And because they are conditioned to exist, they change from one form to another. We ourselves also is the same. Our body may be healthy now, but the next moment we may be stricken with sickness. Then at that point in time, we must understand that this kind of changes and this kind of forms that has been from one form to another is actually inevitable. And anicca gives us the understanding that as long as we are all conditioned, as long as all events are conditioned, as long as the environment and phenomena that we are facing are all impermanent, then we will then be able to accept the changes. Now, anatta talks about non-entity or the non-impermanence. In other words, we all want to have a permanent entity. We want to, for example, live forever. We want to be healthy forever. We want to be young forever. But this kind of conditions will never happen because they are all subjected to change. And even when it comes to environment, when it comes to our body, we are all one day will have to change. And there is no permanentness about it. And if the moment we are attached to an impermanent, to a permanent entity, then we are going to be disappointed. If we want it to last forever, if we want to be healthy forever, if we want all the good times of life forever, then we are going to be disappointed. Now, we all know that the aftermath of the Covid-19, aftermath of the trade wars, aftermath of all the issues that have arisen, is going to create a lot of economic disruptions. And this is going to create a lot of unsatisfactoriness in our life. So we must now understand that these are some of the things that happens, but if it happens, we must be able to understand that it is not a permanent phenomenon. It will change. It will change from bad to become better. It will change from raining to have what we call the sun. Now we all know that we are all together in one world and in one universe. And I think the phenomena that we understand, that we are experiencing, they are all forms of energy. And all forms of energy have what we call frequencies, and all forms of energy have wavelengths. And this is very simply represented by what we call the sine curve. Now, this is actually a very universal sign or a symbol to indicate that all energies will then behave in this manner, that there will be up and there will be down. But when they are down, don't worry, it will then move up again. So it actually have what we call the wave going up on the crest and subside it down to the bottom. And then eventually, through its momentum and inertia, will then force the wave to rise up again. So this is the phenomena of all energies that has happened, and we are actually part and parcel of this energy. Now, when Albert Einstein talks about the law of conservation of energy, we all understand it as that this mass of energy that we are in, the universe, and we are actually part and parcel of that mass. We are actually being transformed from one form to another. It will always remain as one big mass, which is conserved, which is transformed, but it is neither created nor destroyed. So when this formula of E equals mc squared, most of us understood it as E equals mong cha cha. But actually the law of conservation of energy tells us that everything that we do in this universe, everything that we do in this world, everything that we do with our lives is in connection with everybody else. It's actually part and parcel of what you call one big mass itself. So we are all one. and that whatever we do, whatever we react, whatever we transmit, it will actually be felt, it will actually be received by everyone else. And that's why our campaign on Metta, our campaign on the radiation of loving kindness, we are actually trying to send out and transmit together within the same energy mass as a feeling of peacefulness, a feeling of calmness, a feeling of positivity. And we must be able to radiate positiveness to ourselves first, as well as actually radiating out to everyone else. Now, we all know that under the moral law of karma, we understand that some of these events doesn't happen by itself. Like earlier when I was saying that a lot of this sickness that is actually arised, we have COVID-19, which is not caused by itself. It is actually caused by the unhygienic way of living, and it's also caused by the undisciplined way of consuming products, and it's also the way how we polluted the world. And basically all these are now coming back to us. The power of nature is that when it is being disturbed and when it is being disrupted, it will then build up a force, and the force will then befall upon us as a result of it. So according to the Buddha's teaching, we are all talking about 5 cosmic orders, which we commonly call the 5 niyamas. Now, these 5 niyamas are cosmic laws that governs the nature of the world. And one of the most important niyama is actually karma niyama, which is the order of action and reaction. And because of the action that we have done together with the rest of the world, we are now facing the consequences of it. So the only way to try to reduce the reaction is to be able to create the good karmic energies, the positive energies, and thus be able then to slowly subside the negative energies that is arisen. Now we all know that the various niyamas that we are seeing here on the chart is that the physical inorganic order talks about cycles. Now the world happens and the energies that we face are all in a cycle. Like the weather, we have winter and we will be followed with spring, and then we will have summer, and then autumn will come, then followed by winter back again, and the cycle repeats itself. Same thing with the new moon and the full moon. Every 28 days, we then face with the same cycle. Now we all know that phenomena happens in cycle. So we are now at the bottom of a cycle, and we must remain positive that for every failure or for every bad that we are facing, there is always a sunshine at the end of the day. So this actually gives rise to the understanding of positivity. We must be positive. We know that if we have faced with bad times, we must be able to then maintain our peace of mind, maintain our calmness, maintain our positiveness, and maintain our understanding so that we can then be able to ride it out, face it, accept it, and slowly as the time and the cycle will then come back to the good times again, then we will then be able to overcome and overcome. So with this, may you all be free from COVID-19, be healthy, be well and happy, and stay safe. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu to Datuk Chia for the great sharing today. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, I'd like you to stay on if you have any question regarding to what Datuk Charlie have just shared earlier. Now, what you need to do is to raise your hand using the participant view. Now, allow me to unmute yourself. Don't mute yourself. Don't unmute yourself. Allow me to unmute yourself so that you can speak. So what you need to do is to raise a hand through the application. Using the participant view, you can actually raise hand and I will call you to speak. So let's open up for a short discussion. If there's any one of you have any question at all to ask regarding the Dharma sharing that Datuk Charlie just shared earlier, please raise hand from the application itself. Okay, Charles Ong, the brother Charles Ong, you can speak.
Brother Charles cannot see you on the video. Are you on
Brother
the video?
Charles can speak. You can speak. Brother Charles can speak.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Charles.
Charles,
Hi.
go on, you have question?
Not for the moment yet.
Oh, okay, because I see you raise your hand. Okay, let me just lower your hand. Can anyone who has any question, you can actually raise your hand so that I can actually unmute you so that you can speak. Use the participant view and raise your hand if you have any question. So there's no one have any question at all. There's quite a lot of sharing from Datuk Charlie, from Four Noble Truth, from up to 5. So Niyama, so many.
It's all in a nutshell.
Yeah. Jim Loy, I saw you raise hand using video, but please use the app. Jim Loy, you can speak now. Jim Loy?
Yeah, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Just want to trace back. I mean, during Buddha times, I think there is similar like famines or this kind of disease happen. So maybe during Buddha times, what do Buddhists do and monks or Buddhists do during this time? Do they have anything like isolation as well? And yeah, just want to just curious how they do it back then.
Okay, thank you, Brother James. Datuk Charlie, what do you think during Buddha's times? Maybe old days, do they have certain pandemic like this? And what do they do actually?
I think most of you are quite familiar with the Ratana Sutta. Now, Ratana Sutta, the Buddha has gave a lot of teachings there. And it was in the city of Vesali that there was actually a very severe famine. And a lot of people were dying. And thus, the Buddha then actually called upon the monks to do the recitation of invoking the blessings of the devas and deities, at the same time exhorting the people to actually maintain their calmness, their peacefulness, and their positivity. Now, it's the same lessons that we are all learning today. Especially in the times like this, we need to be positive. We need to maintain our calmness and our peacefulness. And at the same time, use this time to do whatever that is necessary in order to help to alleviate the sufferings of others. So we actually have been invoking the blessings from the Ratana Sutta, and a lot of Buddhist centers have organize the chanting and invoking the blessings. So because of the Ratana Sutta, the famine in Vesali was actually slowly go better, and the famine was actually averted.
Yeah, thank you, Dato'. And then in fact, for those that maybe those are not aware, in Klang Valley and certain part of Malaysia, we also have this Metta link circle, whereby the individual people group together and do their own metta meditation at home together simultaneously. It is like the kind of big forces that we have just to spread over the living kindness. And I see the KP Hall, there's also unmute. are you having any question?
Yes.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hi, Sister Kampeng.
Hi.
Yeah, you just speak
I have
only
to
just
unmute
now.
myself.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Dr. Charlie.
Hi, Sister Kampeng.
Yeah, I just want to know whether is it confirmed that the virus originated in Wuhan and not due to the military games?
What do you think, Datuk?
Because I'm asking that because some people, I mean, you're talking of people in the interior, they do eat wild animals. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of a choice. I mean, a food. They don't have things like chicken or pork, you know, like they sell. So they do hunt and they do eat. And I mean to relate it to an unhygienic food or something like that, I think it's not very fair. I'm just thinking, just my thoughts. What do you?
Sister Kampeng, I think when we talk about coronavirus, it is actually found everywhere in the world, except that this is a very particular strain that is mutated, and it appears in Wuhan initially. And the question is how it appears in Wuhan is still subjected to a lot of questions. But since it has already occurred, then from there it has spread to the various parts of the country as well as also to the world. But if you also look at some of the instances, the virus itself has actually appeared on its own in other countries. So they could have mutated into another strain, because remember, COVID-19 is only a general name. It refers to quite a number of mutations. So it could refer to several mutations, which is similar in nature, and they are all classified under COVID-19. So it could happen in China, it could also happen in other parts of the world, and thus we cannot say that it actually originates from Wuhan. But this is subjected to medical science, so maybe religious circles will not have the answer to it. But at the end of the day, it does not matter where it comes from. We are all facing it, and it's worldwide. This is actually a pandemic, and we must be able to maintain a good mind to actually overcome it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Datuk. The fact is, we don't do any blaming game here. We know the fact is we are facing it. We have to do togetherness to make sure that we are actually managing it. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that actually I feel that being Buddhist and being practitioners, we don't seem to encounter the problems of what we read and hear about others saying that during this MCO, we just are so bored and we don't know what to do, and we have so much time. But I would like to ask my fellow brothers and sisters in the Dharma, do you really have a lot of time? Actually, if this morning I was looking at the compilation of the various activities online by just Buddhist organizations in Klang Valley. Every hour of our 24 hours is actually taken up, except for the sleeping hours. Don't you all think so? And because we have been trained to do nothing, and actually I feel that this, we actually treasure and accept this. Our level of acceptance is very much higher than the others. What do you all think?
What do you think, Datuk?
Okay, brother Lim, let's look at it this way. To me, personally, I feel that this 28 days is going to be the best time of my life. Because why? Now I get the chance to actually reflect upon life, reflect upon what I need to do, reflect upon what I have done, and at the same time spend this time to gain knowledge in a lifelong learning. Now, practically, there's very little time. Even the amount of sleep also have to be sacrificed in order to actually go through some of the things that I want to do, and some of the things I want to sort out, some of the backlogs that I want to, clear. But at the same time, I think we have to caution ourselves not to become overly affected by all the negative news. Now, a lot of times we hear about all the difficulties and all the unhappiness, and then we get ourselves worked up. But let's be compassionate, and let's be having a lot of metta during this period of time. Let's see how we can help to alleviate the what do you call, the anguish and the anxieties by giving positive news. So when we do a lot of spreading and a lot of sharing of what some of the WhatsApp messages and texts, choose the one that is positive, choose the one that can uplift the spirits of many people, and then distribute it accordingly. If it's negative ones, try to avoid it. Now, the reason is when we dwell ourselves too much in negativities, the mind is never positive. And this is the time we have to keep our mind positive and maintain our peace. And when our mind is positive, good things will happen. We always believe in the power of our mind and our karmas.
Yeah, thank you, Datuk. I see there's a message from chat from Brother Roger Kirk. Do you want to say and rephrase your question, Brother Roger?
No, not really. I actually just want to share that indeed, that we don't have to really ask where did the poison arrow come from, and where did the COVID-19 started from. But it's very much about how we deal with our current status and what do we deal with at the present moment. And I do like Dr. Charlie sharing about being positive and sharing positivity. To me, that is like vitamins to our mind every day, and to build our immune system, not just physically, but in our mind, mentally. And a lot of us who are still dealing with our business and our career, let knowledge be the immunity in our life, and not just the physical immunity that we need. By having a lot of learnings and keeping our mind active is actually the immunity to more challenges in life, actually. We can never stop them from coming, but it is about how we deal with them, how we accept them and deal with it. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Brother Roger. Thank you for sharing. I see Brother Chong Yi is actually raising a hand. Brother Chong Yi, can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Yep. Hi.
Yes, Brother Chong Yi, yes, please.
Yeah.
Can you have any question?
I have two things. One is my opinion. Another is another question.
Okay.
So just talk about a little bit about my opinion about just now the question, where is virus actually came from? Of course, we don't look at the situation as like we try to blame anybody. Even though there are a lot of syndicates, they try to make things like becoming an international conflict, and some they make it as a racial conflict kind of topic. But the question, the good question about where the virus comes from, that could worth to be investigated, because if we understand a little bit more about the root cause, at least we know how to prevent the similar things happen in the future again. But that is, so we need to look at it very scientifically, and also need to be very neutral form. It's not trying to become a pinpointing of anybody. Yeah. I think this wouldn't be the only incident that will happen. With the can of worm is already open, like because of global climate change. And a lot of uncertainties in our environment that new science may discover now and then. So we could face a lot more the similar risks and similar disaster in the future. If we can make it an initiative to find out what is the actual root cause and educate the whole world how to prevent it and how to reduce the similar incident to happen in the future, that would be good dharma, actually. The question that I want to ask is Datuk Charlie, when a lot of people looking at the current situation as some may be try to calm themselves, and then some may be in a very panicky mode. Whatever it is, a lot of people are not comfortable with the potential and also the world which is changing in terms of the way how we live our life, how we interact with people. how we do the business, how the economy is functioning. But among all the changes and potential change that are going to come, what are the elements that it's permanent and it won't change? What is your point of view? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Chong Yi. Now, I think we all know that this next few years, it is a lesson learned. We all know that we are going to what you call faced with a lot of new things that is going to happen. We are going to look at things in a very different way, and the way we do our business, the way we do our what you call life.
Yeah, the way we are living.
Life is going to be different. Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
I can. Okay. So we must expect that things will change, and we are going to face with a very different world after this, because it's a lesson learned from this pandemic. But like history has always proven that it will repeat itself, which means to say, initially we may be very disciplined. From then onwards, we may understand things better. But then as time goes on, we will then slowly then deteriorate and then goes back from good to bad again. Now, this is what we call part and parcel of the cycle of life. And we all learn from the Buddha's teachings that everything will actually change. There is no such thing called a permanentness of situations. So the next few years, the way we are going to do business is also going to be different. The way that we are going to handle each other's person's life after this episode is also going to be different. So be prepared for changes, but it doesn't matter. We will eventually become more understanding, and we will be able to overcome it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Datuk. I see Brother Benny raising a hand. Brother Benny, can you speak?
Yeah, hi, Datuk Charlie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. You mentioned actually just now regarding this is the best time of your life. I do concur and agree with that, because during our normal days of the rat race, we always tell ourselves, hey, want to yam cha? Sorry, no time, next time, next day. But suddenly, within these 2-3 weeks, we realized that many of us actually looking for things to do. Other than planning in that sense. We wonder, hey, what to do next, what to do next. I think this is the best time to actually catch up with those that we really did not, manage to do that during our so-called rat race. But when we get back to work, I believe, again, we tell ourselves, hey, sorry, no time again. So we will come back to the old habit again in that sense. That is what I just want to share. Thanks.
Thank you, Brother Benny.
Yeah, Brother Benny, I think, when situation happens, we tend to, adapt. We tend to modify. So in other words, when we are faced with certain situations, the better we adapt, the better we modify, then we will then feel free from the stress. So some of us have been able to spend this time doing quite a lot of good things. I think many of us suddenly remember that we have to call up our benefactors, we have to call up our bosses, and to actually express our gratitude. At the same time, also try to give some positive words to them. Of course, people will say that, well, now you are trying to protect your work or protect your employment. That's why you call up your bosses, so that they will remember you if they are talking about retrenchment. But this is the time also to show gratitude, and also to call up all your old friends, and at the same time trying to establish a relationship. I think many of us are doing this during this period. So there is actually good times now where we can rebuild our relationship and also rebuild our, connections. Right. Thank you.
Very good, Datuk. Thanks for that response. I see there's brother raising the hand for the video. Brother, can you speak? Huawei P30.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good morning. Morning, everybody. Morning, brother and sister. I'm Bonlo from Alasta.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. In fact, I'm very impressed by what Brother Charlie was talking and everybody. Okay. In fact, I've been sharing with many friends about this. In fact, should be thankful to Buddha. We know Buddhism, and then we can face a lot of things. I should say easily. For me, my experience is that these few days, I find that it's the best time of my life, where I can really have peaceful mind, sit down, I learn the sutra, learn how to chant, all these things, which I could never have time to learn those days and understand every word what the Buddha said in the sutra. Okay, this is my experience of these few days. Okay, I have one question to ask, which I want to share with some friend, but it might look sensitive. Okay, brother and sister, please share with me how to deal with this. Especially because I got a lot of friends in politics, in many race background, all these things. They always ask me and they raise question on things like, this is created by God A or God C. So as a Buddhist, we cannot tahan, So we cannot tahan, but we will say up something. And then I sometimes feel offense because why? They were brought up that way and we are brought up this way. Okay. So I try to share simple things like Patija and then the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path. I say I follow this thing and I understand a lot of things in life. This is what I try to share with all brothers and sisters. I don't know whether I'm right.
Thank you, brother. Let's hear from Datuk Charlie. So is this from the A or the C gods that actually created this?
I think this one refers to the same, statement by Brother Roger. Roger just now mentioned about from where the arrow comes from. Basically we are already faced with the problem. And I think the best solution is not to find where the arrow comes from. The best solution is actually trying to find a cure, trying to find a way to get out of it and find a way to actually evolve around it. So this is not a good, time to actually answer this type of question.
Okay, thank you.
We should divert with the positive measures for them.
Thank you. There is a sister Jacqueline E. I'm going to unmute you. Maybe you can share your positive experience that happened to you during this COVID MCO.
Yeah, good morning everyone, brothers and sisters. May you all be well and happy.
Yeah, put your mic closer.
I don't have the mic.
Okay, speak closer to the computer.
Okay. Yeah. I experienced many positive things. Number one, you have the time to yourself. You discover yourself. Things that you have not done. Meditation now more hours. Last time 5-10 minutes kanchong already. Oh, I've not done this, I've not done that. So my meditation is more fruitful, I found out. Then on top of your the breathing meditation, I can also do my loving kindness meditation. And I can feel personally, I feel it's stronger. That's my own feeling, all right? What I mean by stronger means when you meditate and put to thought the loving kindness, you can feel, I don't know this is my feeling. I can feel the love. I don't know how to explain, but I feel it's more fruitful.
Yeah.
Then I have time to cook every day.
Yeah.
Not only cook, I have time to learn new recipes. These are all positive thoughts. And then all these positive things I share with all my friends. So,
okay, very good.
Why I'm saying this? Because I would like people to feel that this is the time that we have for us to do what you want to do and to discover what you can do and all your backlog, like clearing your bookshelves, your library. Oh, fantastic. I feel it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Jacqueline, for sharing. Yeah, of course. I also see Brother Benny raise a hand again. You want to say something again?
Yeah. Just now, our brother from Alosa, in reply to what he was saying, other religion and so forth.
Okay.
Now, I think we can look from this very simple aspect, which is when something bad happens, we always question, why does it happen to me? But when something good happens, we never ask ourselves, hey, why does this good thing happen to me? So I think it's not so important like what Roger said to look at the where the arrow comes from. Whether it's good or bad, I think it is our response to how we handle the situation that is more important. That's my thought.
Thank you, Brother Benny. Datuk, want to add something?
Okay, I think we all understand that quite a number of us have felt the same way. That we felt that this is the best time of our life during these 28 days. But comes on the 14th of April, PM will announce that, well, that's the end. Everybody now go back to work. And I see how many people will be very unhappy at that time. Rather than,
Yeah. Yeah, I see also a message by Leong Ching Yi. Everything that happened is created by the karma. I guess we human actually has been created a lot of bad thing in the world globally from Stone Age until today. That's why this is karma returned to us.
Yeah, Brother Hawking, I think I totally agree that the cause is not a single cause.
Yes.
Not just pure karma. But at the end of the day, we are the one who contributes towards much of the disruptions. So we have to learn to discipline ourselves after this lesson learned and try to be a little, what they call, more concerned about the climate, more concerned about the environment, more concerned about the food that we take and avoiding taking wildlife, which is actually not the right diet for human beings. So at the same time, I think from this lesson, we probably become better people after this.
Thank you. Thank you, Datuk. There's also sharing by Herpes Gis about the link about those poison arrow. You can see in the chat room, you can copy the URL and check out later. Is there any other question from the rooms? It's about 11:27 right now. Is there any other question before we call the day off and we will do a transfer of merits? Okay, if no, let's like to invite.
Brother Bunloa wants to say something.
He just say thumbs up. Okay.
Oh, thumbs up.
Brother, you need to unmute yourself and speaking. Okay, can you speak?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I used to plant a lot, I'm a green, I like green very much, environment. I used to plant a lot of ulams around my house. Now is the best time. Really, I enjoy. I don't have to go to market. So I can self-survive through my garden, So I hope everybody try to do what I do. Convert flower pot, into edible plants. Thank you. Thank you,
brother. Thank you.
So, Brother Hawking, I want to say something about
please.
The aspiration and projects that BMSM is trying to spearhead. One of it is actually the agriculture initiatives. I think for food security and also for a situation like this, the most important thing that is should be made available is actually food on our table. And like what Brother Bunloa is saying, if you have your own planting, you have your own vegetable patch, you have your own herbal garden, that will be the best. But of course, we sometimes cannot just survive on that little patch. We need to go into food development and food industries. So BMSM through probably BBN can actually initiate a lot of ventures and initiative to try and get the youth, especially the Buddhist youth, to love nature and to start planting again. And thus also at the same time help to provide food security to the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Datuk. Brother KL, you have something to say? You unmute yourself.
Oh, yes. Basically, I just want to do a checkpoint with everybody in terms of the Metta network. We all know that Bante Mahinda, out of compassion for all of us, very early during the start of the NCO, he already advised us to start to build these groups of Metta network. And I think that now we have something like 13 groups with 430 participants. So we are now today, we are having about 100 plus already here in this room now. So this is an initiative to get all of us together to do this sharing. And I'm so happy that there's so much positive vibes coming out of this. Every one of us is doing well. But I just want to pose a question. How are you all doing in terms of your daily practice that Bate has advocated? 20 minutes, half an hour, and what is your feedback from this experience that you have been doing it on a regular basis?
Thank you, Brother KL. So is there any brothers and sisters may want to take one or two feedback about your Metta practice during these times? Okay, Brother Jim Loy, you can speak.
Yeah, brother. This is Jimmy from DMSM Sabah branch. We are doing, I think, about a dozen of us or more doing this Metta meditation every night. Follow the first by starting with the chanting by Pandey Mahinda, and then followed by the Metta guide, also by Pandey Mahinda. We are getting more and more people joining, and then we dedicate merits to those who are infected, and also to those at work. And personally, for me, I think it's very calm and soothing. I mean, it's definitely one of the things that needs to be done during this lockdown, and then it makes my mind more calm, more peaceful, and I also have to build my compassion towards others. Really appreciate those doctors, even the grocery workers. I cannot see before, but now I can see that even the grocery workers, the Grab drivers, the Grab food deliverers. I send back that to all of them. I really starting to appreciate their work while we stay at home and everything, their life for every single person.
Yeah, very true. Thank you, Brother Jim. Thank you. Can we take another one? If there's any feedback from the Metta practice that you have during the MCO? You can unmute yourself to speak. Or raise a hand. No. If hearing no.
If there is none.
Yes. Brother KL.
Sorry.
Brother KL, we are losing you.
How we go forward? Do you like this kind of group session? And how regular do you think that it should be held?
Do you, Brother KL, this question about how regular and how do you like these sessions, how do you want the people to feedback this? Do you want to get a feedback now through the chat room? So Sister Jacqueline, I see you also asked yourself again. You want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two things. One is on the Metta group. Metta group, I joined that group, Brother Jimmy's group. This is a very good discipline for me. Every day, 8:30, sit down at my favorite spot in front of, in the hall near my Buddha altar. Previously, I would have excuse, 8:30 lah, 9 o'clock lah, 9:30. That is all excuse, but I still do it, but I have excuse. Now, I don't have excuse. That's a positive thing that came out from me.
Sure.
Next, I agree with Brother Chia that we need to come out, to cultivate, all right, agriculturally. I learned this from the Buddhist temple, a vegetarian temple in Jalan Ampang next to Celcom building. They sell vegetarian food, all right, at very nominal price. On top of that, they do have their own farm in Bentong. So I think if BMSM is going to initiate this, and somebody has to move the people, because all the people involved are working people, volunteer basis. And we know if anything involves volunteerism, you know the challenges. I'm sure we all know the challenges among ourselves. So how does the Ampang Temple did it? They have, of course, the core people to run it, and then weekly they have Buddhist groups to go in. So probably, just an idea, BNSM can initiate this. Our Shah Alam building, there's plenty of land around that building. Probably we can kick off that. We allocate maybe certain corners for vegetation. So then probably we rope in all our BMSM groups from other states or other locations. This week is your turn, next week that turn. So people know when is their schedule. So upfront, people will be able to book their timing. Because you know, once the MCO open up, everybody will be, inverted comma, living in their rat race, right? So I love the idea mooted by Brother Charlie. We have to move this towards planting our own vegetation. So for one, we use it on own consumption. You use it, let's say that farm is from BNSM Shah Alam. So those food or the produce there used to cook for functions that maybe toilet something, whatever functions that they operate on their schedule, according to their schedule. That's
Thank you.
2 cents.
Thank you, Sister Jacqueline. Thank you. Yeah, but so this is, I think it's good to really sharing with all the brothers and sisters in Dhamma. Before we end, I think if you have anything, you can access to BMSM, be it Facebook or even any of our committee members for feedback. We will continue this session and see how the thing going to go on. But before we end, I think we'd like to invite Datuk Charlie Chia to lead the transfer of merits so that we can actually end this in good order. Datuk?
Sadhu. Okay, brothers and sisters, I think we all have gathered together, sacrificed some of our leisure time to come together and actually to discuss what the Buddha has taught. In fact, doing the Dharma sharing is actually a very meritorious action. Let us rejoice in this deed, and may the merits accrued contribute towards our good health and our protection. And may all these merits accrued for the good health and happiness of our family members, our friends, our colleagues, and our colleagues in the workplace, wherever they are, may they also be free from disease and harm. And by these merits, let us also share with all our protective devas. May all the devas rejoice, and may they be free from disease and harm too. At the same time, may these merits also accrue for the benefit of our departed relatives. May they be well and happy, may they be free from dukkha, and may they one day attain the peace of Nibbana. Idang me yatina
hotu sukita hontu yatayo. Idang me yatinang hotu sukita hontu yatayo. Idan me yatinang hotu sukita hontu yatayo. Sadhu. Thank you everybody for present today. Thank you Datuk Charlie for leading the sharing, Dhamma sharing. We will get back to all the brothers and sisters again for the next session. Good to see all of you. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. We will catch up again. The session is ended. Sadhu.
Okay, thank you, Father Charlie. And all.
Okay, Sadhu, thank you.
Sadhu, thank you.
So, brothers and sisters, you can choose to leave the room as we have completed the session. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, especially Datuk Chia, Datuk Chia, and the host.